Hello, my name's Ingrid. I work up here at the Orkney College, and I'm just going to show you how to do a cake the day that you would do in the NPA in bakery. NPA in bakeries offer to school people, so that's usually up here on a Friday morning, cooking and baking when we say. So I'm going to show you how to do a square cake with a sheep on the top of it. I'm a farmer's daughter, so most of my cakes and stuff usually involve a sheep or a coo or something, so I'll just try and show you how I do this one, okay? So this is just a normal Victoria sponge. Okay, so I'm just going to fill it with jam and buttercream just to make it nice and tasty in the middle. So I've previously cut this in half because staying on camera is just fair to half right, so hopefully it's in half. Just going to put the buttercream on the one half and the jam on the other. So this is just plain normal buttercream. And you might think I'm being a bit stingy when I'm putting this on here. I'm not really. It just needs a very pretty grain. If you put too much on here, it bulges up the sides and it can affect how your cake looks at the end product. Okay. I'm just going to put jam on this side. Again, not as much as you would put in a jam sandwich. Okay. Then we've got to line this up so it's all the right corners to the right corners. So it's nice and flat on the top. Just like that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is the crumb coat. So that's just a thin layer of icing all over the cake. And mind on to leave the top because you need the top to move it. I'll just demonstrate it, it's a bit easier for you to understand. So take it in your one hand and your buttercream, you want to paste the outside. This is when you become a painter and decorator. And then you use your other hand to tap it and move to the next side. It's quite easy on a small cake, but on a bigger cake it's quite difficult. Okay, so now we're going to colour the sugar paste. It's going to cover our cake. I'm going to colour that in a green colour. So this is a white sugar paste bought for just Tesco's or somewhere like that. Buy sugar paste, don't buy fondant. Fondant's designed to melt. Sugar paste is designed to roll and go on cakes. So I'm using a paste colouring just to colour this up. So I'm just going to show you quickly how to colour things up. Mark a massive hole in the middle and get a cocktail stick and put some of your paste colouring in. Use paste colouring instead of liquid colouring. That'll no affect the texture as much as a liquid colouring do. So just then what you're going to do is you're just going to roll this in sausages until the colour starts coming through. To start with, you don't think it's going to come, but it will. Okay, so now we've got our sugar paste coloured, and I'll just roll it out and cover the cake. This is corn flour. Use corn flour instead of icing sugar, just because it's a icing sugar and dampness mix. Icing and the corn flour just dries everything up nice and don't want to use too much, just enough. you're just taking your icing and draping it on the top. Then just with the heel of your hand, you're just smoothing that all the way over. You start at the corners and just work your way round. Easing it down to the bottom, trying to avoid any pleats. Okay. Then you take a finger width off, leaving a finger's width on, sorry, all the way round. And you just knock that in with your fingers the whole way round. And you take a knife. Just cut the excess off. Okay. Then you grab a bit of this, scrunch it into a ball, and then smooth it on your surface. So you have a nice smooth, and then just go over the top of your cake, smoothing as you go, and this just evens out any bits of your cake that's a bit bumpy or lumpy. Okay, so I've marked the circle on the top, and I'm just going to put a little bit of water in the middle of the circle here. That'll just allow these to stick. So this is a blossom cutter, and I'm just putting that around, and if you put them quite close together, it looks like a sheep's fleece. Okay, so I've got the fleece made there, and now I'm just going to mark some legs. Just get a little bit of black. And I'm just going to do them freehand. If your hand's a bit hot, just put a bit of corn flour in it, that just dries them up. So all we're doing is just making a little coat. Which are kind of the same size. Don't want a lopsided shape. And then just gonna put a bit of water on where you want, just to get it to stick. Okay, and then just position that on and flatten it down slightly. At the moment it just looks like a sheep's bum, but believe me, it will have a head in a pretty minute. So we're just going to cut the gate out of here now. So we need 4 bits about the same size. Just straighten this up. So just in half and in half again, and we'll see how that looks on the cake. I think we can go a little bit thinner, so we'll just take a little bit off. Perfect. So we'll just make this one the same size, set that on top of there, and cut along. Now you just want to see how long you want them. So it's just above the shape. So just make them both the same size. Just going to chop off this bit at the bottom here. Just like that. Then we're going to put some water on where we want the fence posts to be. So just a line down here, a line down here. Just going to put the fence posts on. We're just going to use our modelling tool just to make little wiggly lines like it's wood. Then we're going to do some lines the other way. So just take some more of your sugar paste. Just pop it on to see how much we want. So we want it to kind of be that kind of length because you want it to look like a fence. So just position that on so we know where we're going. That's looking good. So we'll take that off and we'll make the wiggly lines this time on the bench. Just to give it a wood effect. Now we're going to attach it to the top. Okay, so again a little bit of water where you want your gate to be. And pop that on there like that. Try and make it the same amount hanging over each side so it just looks like that fence. And then to finish that off, just going to put nail holes in. So just the pointy end here. Just for more decoration, why not put some up there too? Okay, now we're going to make the sheep's face or the sheep's head. So it's just a bit more black. And again, we're going to do this freehand. Everything in cake decorating starts off life as a ball. So if you can do a ball, you can do all types of cake decorating. You're just going to judge what size of bit you're going to use for your head. This is obviously a comedy sheep, so his head can be a bit bigger. Sheep's head are slightly pointed at the bottom and slightly flat at the top. I'll just position that on there, just like that. We'll just leave it there for a minute just to make sure it's looking right. It looks a little bit in proportion, a little bit big, but I think that's quite cute. Okay, so now we're going to make some ears. So again, little balls. Flatten them up, squash them, flatten them up, squash them, flatten them up, squash them so they're a teardrop or a pear drop shape. And that can just get attached on there. Okay, now we're going to put some eyes in them, so he brings them to life. So just going to get a little bit of white and roll it into a tiny pretty ball. That's far less than you would imagine. Squash them quite flat, and that can go in there like that. And then some tiny bits of black. When you're doing the black, when you're putting the pupils on, never put the pupils straight in the middle or you'll end up with an evil looking sheep. Kind of down towards the bottom of the circle for your sheep. And then he looks quite cute. So we're now going to make some flowers just for the final decoration of this cake. And got a really nice bright pink and a really nice bright yellow. So I'll just show you quickly how to make the flowers. So you need a pretty foam pad and one of these blossom cutters, just the same blossom cutter as we used to do the sheep's fleece. And again, just a little bit of corn flour. Just going to roll this out. Okay, so now we're kind of onto the final decoration. We're going to put some green buttercream. So I've got a green buttercream in my piping bag and just a little nozzle. So what we're going to do now is just pipe some grass to make it look nice, and the grass is just going to be any size, any shape, just to make it more natural like. And then as well up the side. Okay, just to finish it off, we're just going to put these little flowers just random places on the cake. Just brightens them all up. And then just some around the bottom as well. Okay, and there he is.